You're listening to the Extraordinary Everyday Podcast with Wendy Johnson, episode number 15.
Welcome to the Extraordinary Everyday Podcast, where women come to be inspired and motivated to become the best version of themselves and elevate the quality of their everyday. Now, here's your host, certified life coach, Wendy Johnson.
Hello, beautiful friends. How are you today? I am doing splendid, and I have a big win to share with you. I am sitting at my desk today for the first time since my knee surgery, and it feels so good to be using my big screen and not to be on the sofa. And here I am, and I'm excited to talk to you about the topic today that I want to share, and that is being committed or interested. And if you're like most people, you're interested in a lot of different things, but that does not mean that you're committed to them. And often I have client calls and I find out that they have all these interests that are piquing their curiosity, but they don't know if they want to commit or if they're willing to commit. So I want to help you out here with whatever you're considering doing for a future goal for yourself. Maybe you want to consider a new career, starting a new business, starting a new hobby, finding a new romance, improving your finances, organizing your home, or taking your health and fitness to the next level. Whatever it is, when you're interested in it, you spend a lot of time thinking about it, and that generates feelings of excitement and curiosity, but it also brings in fear of the unknown and overwhelm. So why I'm talking about this today is because I want to let you know that there's a difference between being committed and being interested. When you're interested in something, you only do it when it's convenient. When you're interested, you're focused on the if, and there's doubt about whether something is going to happen or not happen. And there's no definiteness, no decision, no pressure or accountability toward making it happen. So let me give you an example. You are excited about working out again, and you join a gym, you buy a Peloton, or you pay for trainer sessions, any of those, but you haven't made a commitment for what you're going to do. You've just purchased the sessions or the gym membership or the bike. This is something that you're interested in, but it's not a commitment. A commitment is not passive, but it's active. And what a commitment is when you are committed to something, you accept no excuses and only results. And when you're committed, you focus on the next steps, and those are the how, and you're focused on a do action and taking action. And you push through despite obstacles and setbacks and how you feel in the moment. Versus when you're interested, you will stop at the first setback, and if you don't feel like it, you won't do it. And an obstacle is a stop sign and not a roadblock. So those are the differences. And I looked up the definition of commitment in Google, and commitment is the act of doing or performing, having made a pledge or a commitment to someone or something. And the definition of interest is it's an idea or a possibility for how things can go. And an interest can slip away. You may lose interest as time goes by and your attention drifts elsewhere. And I love this quote by James Womack. Commitment unlocks the door of imagination, allows vision, and gives us the right stuff to turn our dream into reality. Why I love commitment so much is that it takes away options. But for some people, that scares them to not have all the options in front of them. But what I found is that it keeps us very scattered because we're always waiting. Well, should I do this or shouldn't I? Or should I do that? When you know what your commitments are, you know what a strong yes is and what a strong no is. And the other reason why I love commitment is that it gives me focus and direction. And when I wake up in the morning, I can rearrange my mind and my actions around that commitment. And then finally, it makes making decisions easier. And once you've made the decision after the decision is the commitment, the process of showing up. And there's joy in who you become when you commit to something. So I want to ask you to think about something that you're wanting to create in your life. And I want to ask you to ask yourself, how committed are you? On a scale of 0 to 10, are you a 5? Because a 5 is not going to get you there. A 5 is going to be, well, when things get hard, you're like, oh, okay, maybe I don't want to do this. So I want you to think about being committed at a level 10. If you want to grow your business or your personal life, you have to be at that 10 commitment scale. If you want to lose weight and create a healthy, vibrant body, you have to be on the 10 on the commitment scale. If you want to create more fun and joy in your life, you have to be a 10 on the commitment scale. And when you're fully committed, you will create what it is that you want. It's when you're in that in between of wanting something, but not being fully committed to it. That creates so much unnecessary suffering. And it also causes a division of your energy because you have one foot in the door and one foot out the door. And commitment is going all in, putting both feet, your entire body, all into that commitment. And you're committing to whatever it is, but you're also committing to yourself. And there's another quote I love by John Maxwell, and he said, commitments separate the doers from the dreamers, and people follow the doers. So let me give you some ideas of what you can do to finally make a commitment. Well, the first thing you want to do is find your passion. And it's hard to commit to anything if you're not passionate about it. So maybe that's why you're not fully committed. Passion is what gets you to jump out of the bed every morning and excited and ready for the challenge. Think about, what are you excited about? What are you passionate about? I have had a client, Michelle, and she said she really was just never committed. I knew she was committed in certain areas of her life, but in her business goal, she wasn't committed. But she was entirely committed to her husband and to her kids. And she was committed to travel. She loved to plan their trips. So what I told her is if she could take that passion that she has for her family and her travel, and if she could put that into her career, then she's in the right spot. And then she'll be committed at that level 10. And step 2 is to take the first step. And most people get stuck because that first step is so scary. They don't know if it's the right step, and it may not be. And change is scary, whether it's changing a job, starting a new business, leaving a company and becoming an entrepreneur, moving to a new town, and starting a new relationship. All of those first steps are scary. But it's okay to move forward, even though you're scared of the unknown and you're not sure if it's going to work out. The only way you'll know is if you do it. So you want to listen to your intuition, and that will help you move forward. And do your research and dedicate time to what it is that you want to do rather than just being interested and thinking about it. And the third step to help you finally make the commitment is to face your doubt and know that your primitive brain is protecting you from whatever it is that you're afraid of. But whatever you're afraid of is maybe not a tiger or a bear. It's not a predator, and it's not something that you have to fight or run from. So if you're committed to taking action, even though you have doubts, then you'll find a way to honor your commitment. And ways to practice being committed is making a commitment to yourself and being excited about being committed to yourself. And then allowing yourself space to self-express yourself. So giving yourself that time for self-expression where you're never overloaded, but you're allowing that curiosity and imagination to propel you forward. And then making sure that your work is aligned with what matters to you. You're not there just to earn the paycheck and you hate your job and you're doing it because you need health care. It's going to be very hard to commit to something that you're not passionate about and that you have a calling for. So what I suggest is that we combine the two. First, you start with the interest and it starts you on the path. And then we combine it with 100% commitment. So whatever you're interested in, if you're interested in improving your relationship or working on your health or stop overeating or over drinking, whatever it is, interest will get you in the door and your commitment will keep you there even when your interest fades or leaves and you don't want to be there. So pay attention to your interests as they often symbolize where you want to grow and where your future self wants to go. And your future self depends on you showing up for yourself and being committed. No matter what, you have your own back. And I love this quote by Neil Strauss. Without commitment, you can't have depth of anything. So when you have commitment, there's so many benefits to commitment, and that's what makes your life extraordinary and not mundane and ordinary. First of all, when you're drifting and you only have interests and they come and go, then you're losing self-respect and your reason for being here. So the first benefit is self-respect. And the second benefit is clarity. When you're not committed, you're confused. And when you're committed, you've already made a decision and you have clarity on what you're doing and where you're going. And when you've made the decision, it allows you to say no to all the other distractions. And also commitment leads to contribution, which in turn produces fulfillment. And trust, you're building self-trust with yourself and with others by being consistent and sticking to your commitments. And if you're committed to something, then you have to be courageous. And you'll never be able to have that feeling of being courageous if you're not committing. To be committed means to take bold action. So you're being bold. You're not being timid or hiding. So making a commitment to yourself is so powerful because it influences how you think, how you sound, how you act, which then feeds this perception of what others think about you or your business. And when you approach something half-hearted, or I hope it works out, I'm going to give it my best shot, that perception is not the same. Making a real commitment means that you are looking for solutions when you face obstacles. You don't turn and run or stop and take on another interest. So you don't consider quitting as an option, and you're persistent and resilient no matter how long it takes. In addition, a meaningful commitment gives yourself a script for how to handle things when things get tough. When it gets hard, what are you going to do? How are you going to show up? I want you to know that everybody feels like quitting at one time or another, but most people quit when they hit that first hiccup or difficulty. They feel like taking the easy way out by quitting, which is why they seldom are successful at anything, because they quit and move on to the next thing. And this is a big one. And this is to avoid commitment failure. And one of the keys is to not overcommit. And I know for myself in years past, I've been overcommitted. And then what I wanted to be committed to, I wasn't able to show up for all those commitments. So when you're faced with opportunities and decisions on a daily basis, it's so important to be very selective about what and who you commit to, and to learn to say no, that this isn't something that you want to commit to yet. You have limits of time and attention, so it's not feasible to do everything you want to do all at once. And that's why when I work with clients, we work on one extraordinary goal at a time so that you can dive all into that one goal before tackling the next big goal. It's important to understand what's truly important to you and commit to only those things. And when you only commit to the people and things that are truly important to you, your relationships will improve. You will be more successful in achieving the goals that you set, and you're going to have more time to enjoy your journey and enjoy who you're becoming. And your future self will thank you for that. Well, I hope this podcast has helped you today. Think about the areas of your life where you're interested, or the areas of your life where you're committed, and how you can take that overlap in the committed area and cross over into another area where you have a deep interest, but you're not committed, and what you can do to increase that passion and motivation and commitment to yourself. And that's why I'm here. And that's what I do to help other women, is to get from point A to point B without stopping, quitting, hiding, and believing in themselves and becoming confident in themselves along the way. So if you found this helpful, I would love for you to leave a review on Apple, and I look forward to being here with you next week. Take care, everybody. I hope you have a beautiful week. Bye-bye. Hey, if you enjoy listening to this podcast, you have to come check out More You, my community of like-minded women. We show up to create the highest version of ourselves and elevate the quality of our everyday along the way. Head over to ontraclifecoaching.com/join. That's ontraclifecoaching.com/join. I'd love to see you in there. And if you haven't grabbed your copy of the Mindset Makeover, head over to ontraclifecoaching.com/makeover and get a copy that teaches and inspires you to show up as your most extraordinary self.